Do you want to become a better guitar player? Do you feel that no matter how hard and how long you practice, you're always going back to that lick you learned, 10 years ago? Or maybe you feel bored with the same exercises you're doing over and over, and you feel that they're just exercises. They're painful, they're repetitive, and you're not really creating the music that you have inside of you. If you answered yes to any of these questions, I want you to stop what you're doing. Close the door, turn off your phone, put your guitar down, because in this video, I'm going to reveal to you something very special that I discovered in those students who seem to progress so much faster than others. I met some of these players and I often wondered, what is it that this player has that I don't have, or this guy doesn't have? Is it natural talent? Are they born with it? Do they have that guitar gene printed in their DNA? What is going on? First of all, hi, my name is David Wildman. I'm a professional musician. I'm also a guitar educator. I have taught thousands of students throughout the world, whether it was one-on-one coaching or group settings or even online master classes. Through my career, I had the chance to work with people such as Dweezil Zappa, the band Glass Hammer, Neil Morse, a lot of different respected musicians, and I've met a lot of different players. And that allowed me to figure out things and understand what makes the difference between an advancing guitar player and someone who just stays where he's at. Before I share with you my discoveries, I want to address some of the things you might believe are holding you back from making better progress. A lot of students come to me discouraged because they just don't progress the way they think they should, thinking that the reason why they're not achieving what they want to is because they're just not born with it. They don't have that natural talent. Names such as Beethoven come to mind, or Mozart, or even Eddie Van Halen. Those guys, they were born with that. They knew how to play out of the womb. It's not true. It's not true at all. What these guys have in common is their practice routine. Take a look at Mozart. When he was 5, he wrote some incredible pieces of music, but what happened between the time he was born and he was 5? If you look at his bio, you'll see that Mozart was under a very strict practice routine, very religiously practiced things, and that's what brought him where he was. So if you're a player who feels that you're not making any progress because of that, I would strongly encourage you to go back and read those bios. You'll see that amongst these musicians whom you thought were born with it, there is that common thing, the hard practice, dedicated practice. In an upcoming video, I'm actually going to show you how you can take 30 minutes and within that 30 minutes accomplish a lot more than you would have in 5 hours of the old busted way of practicing, in the front of the TV, passive practicing. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That's going to be the subject of an upcoming video, so keep an eye out for that one. That's going to be a game changer. But in the meantime, if you're feeling that you're not progressing because you're not born with it, you don't have any natural talent, just scratch that idea out of your mind. Okay, I know some of you are probably thinking that the reason they're not making any progress is because of a physical limitation. Maybe your hand is too big, or maybe your hand is too small, or maybe you're missing fingers. And there's a lot of different reasons that you can put on the table to justify you not making any progress. I want to demystify that. It's not true. There's a lot of examples of very successful, respected guitar players that have these differences, and yet that does not affect the way they play. Take a look at Django Reinhardt, considered one of the best guitar players in the world. After an accident in the fire, he lost most of his fingers. Yet that did not prevent him to have a very respected career, and he's still today one of the top guitar players for a lot of people. Most players find it impossible to play the same types of ideas that Django did, and he only did it with 2 fingers. Now, there is something to be said about using a properly tuned instrument, an instrument that is set up professionally, and something that just fits you. And that goes for anyone. I encourage any guitar players to try different types of guitars and find what fits them best. But once that's done, you can be assured that it's not a physical limitation that will prevent you to truly enjoy your instrument. Now, before I reveal to you what I discovered in those students who progress so much faster, we need to talk about the big elephant in the room. You might be thinking, I'm just too old. I'm never going to be better at guitar. I started when I was 40 or in your 50s or 60s, 70s and up. And that's not true. Now, yeah, we need to be realistic. Maybe if you're picking up a guitar at 65, you might not become the next Joe Satriani. But that's okay. You need to have realistic goals. However, can you reach a level where you really enjoy playing and others enjoy hearing you play? Absolutely. I truly think that with what I'm about to share with you, you can reach that level of enjoyment and share the beautiful gift of music with others and enjoy playing and enjoy seeing progress in your playing rapidly. You can do that. It has nothing to do with age. All right, so I know you're wondering, what is that big secret? What separates players who progress really fast from players who seem to be eternally stuck into beginner mode? That secret is simply mindset. That's all. It's super simple. Take a look at the 3 myths and misconceptions we just talked about. Natural talent, supernatural physical ability, or even age. Those things are not the things that should hold you back, and we saw practical examples. Players who stay stuck and eventually give up the guitar believe one of those misconceptions. Players who excel and progress faster than others are the ones who have the mindset of it's the journey that counts, not the destination. Those players don't let any of those beliefs affect the way they progress. Once you have that mindset, the boundage that you might have with those myths just becomes irrelevant. It's not there anymore. And you can progress on your own. There's no competition. You're enjoying the progress. You're seeing progress. And you're working with joy on a road of freedom, musical freedom. And you know where you're going, and you will get there because nothing is holding you back. Of course, it's not having that mindset alone that will make you a better player. You can't just believe it's the journey that counts, not the destination, and expect miracles if you never pick up your guitar, if you don't have a regular practice plan, and if you don't have practical goals. But if you have that mindset, that frees you from anything that can hold you back, such as thinking that you're not born with it, or that your physical ability is just not there, or even that you're too old. Those things can't hold you back, and you're 95% ahead of the game. In the next video, we're going to talk about practical, effective goals. These goals, combined with that new mindset, is where the magic happens. In the meantime, I have a question for you. I would love to know what ignited that desire to learn how to play guitar. Maybe that happened a few decades ago, or maybe a few months ago, or maybe it just happened a few days ago. It could be maybe that you saw someone playing and that just gave you that burning desire to learn how to play. Or maybe you heard a song and that song was the thing that made you want to pick up the instrument. Or maybe it's the guitar itself. Maybe you saw a guitar in a magazine or a movie and you just thought, that's something I could do. That's something for me. Whatever it is, think about it and let me know in the comment below what triggered that desire to play. I'd love to know. Plus, that's going to help us in the next video in which we'll determine our goals. So do that for me. And watch your inboxes because the next video is coming really soon. I can't wait to see you then.